Hi, Emmanuel here with T2S Transformed to Succeed. In this video, what I will basically do today is to walk you through the steps on how you can use the AWS CLI command line interface to manage your resources on the AWS account without even going to the console to do it. There are some prerequisites that I'm gonna need to share with you. If you're gonna need to first install the AWS CLI if you want to use it. There's a good documentation here on AWS. Using this link, you can get there. You can be able to install AWS CLI on Linux. You can install it also on Mac OS or any Windows computer. You do that. Once you do it, you should be able to go to your command line, native command line on Windows or Linux or Mac OS. In my case, I'm using Visual Studio Code. It's an application that you can install on Windows, Mac, or Linux, whatever you want. And it's just, I like it. I love it. You can use it to script or even use it as a terminal, as you can see here. I'm using it as a terminal. And also what I've done, I have my own scripts here. This is for the EC2 instance. And what we will do, we'll go through these commands together. In the next video, I will do one for S3 bucket. The next file that I have here, it's a user data. It's a shell script here that you can use as part of your user data shell script. I'm sorry. You add it to when you are on the console. I'll show it quickly here. So let's go to the console, the AWS console here. The other prerequisite is that you need to have already set up an account with AWS. So if you come here, you assume that you have an AWS account. Otherwise, you can't use an AWS CLI to manage your resources on AWS. So you have this, and I'm trying to see what I wanted to share here, but at least this is the EC2 dashboard. And when you come here, you see all of your services, the services that AWS offers. But we're going to focus today on EC2, how you can do it from off of your command line, off of your local machine. So if you click on the launch an instance here, and you go down here, there's advanced details. You're going to see the user data section. It's going to be at the bottom here. So this is the user data section here. You can either choose a script, or you can just type in your commands here, which means that at the time when you launch here, when you launch your EC2 instance by clicking the orange button here, it's gonna launch your EC2 instance as the EC2 instance starts. It will also run the script that you have kind of like included into the process of spinning up your EC2 instance. Going back to the VSC or the code here, it's gonna run this command here. For the sake of this video, I will not do that. We will do this manually. Okay, we'll do this manually. So let's get going here. We're gonna start with the first one here. If you look at what we want to do, you have to copy this command. And what we want to achieve first is to create a key pair. We're going to need the PAM key. We're going to need a key pair to allow our local system to authenticate itself, so that the EC2 instance will say, hey, you can now have access to my system here. We create a key pair and we're gonna name it Nginx. Then we're gonna take the content of that key that we will have created on AWS and put it into this file here. So the extension should be .pam. That's the convention here. I'll show you the console. If you go to the console here, we're looking for the key here. Let's see. Okay, we're here. Key pairs. So far we don't have any key. And until after we create our Nginx key here. I'm gonna press enter to run the command. So here, sometimes you may have this error message. It's because we already have the nginx.pam here. So I'm gonna delete it by using this command, remove. So I'll just do this and it should be gone. And now we can run the command and it should work. Yes, so no complaint, which means that it's working. And next, what we need to do, we're gonna change permissions of our key pair. Make sure that you have the correct name. And you can verify by just doing this command here. So it's here. I'll copy the whole command and then paste it here and run the command. And you can verify if you want, and you will see you have the 400 permission settings. And next, we need to create a security group. A security group in AWS, it's like a firewall, meaning it controls traffic coming in and going out of your resource. And what we do, and again here we copy the command here, save time, but we want to make sure that the command is correct in terms of the syntax, and which I'm fixing now. So that's that looks correct. We're gonna create a security group. I'll take you to the console here, and what you see here, we have, let's go to the security groups here under network and security, and we don't have, this is what we have so far. And what we want to create now, the security group we want to create, we want to give it the name of T2S Nginx here, T2S Nginx SG. And you're gonna have to make sure that you are in the correct VPC, meaning that you go to your VPC dashboard. You're gonna probably have to search for it, VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, then click on your VPCs, look at the list here, and this is what we have. So ending with 3F5, and that's what we have, right? But to be sure, just make sure that you paste it here, and it should be the same here. I'm gonna paste it, and we are set, and then you just press enter. We have created our security group, and this is the ID, this is the name. We can verify, sorry I didn't show you this. Okay, so after running the command, this is the output. So you get the group ID. So I get the group ID, and I go back to our console to verify under security groups. So when you come here, you're gonna see this is the group, right? With the name of the security group. Let's go back to the command line here. We go back to the command line, but make sure that you copy this because we're gonna need it to when we set the rules. We're gonna set one for SSH and the other one for HTTP. So for SSH, make sure that you replace the security group ID, replace it, and then I replace this one here. What we want to do, we want to create two rules using SSH as a protocol, secure shell, to access our system, our EC2 instance. So I'll copy this, and you see we have the CIDR. This is the IP range, meaning that any system having an IP address falling in this range should be able to SSH into our EC2 instance. But the second one, this is my IP address. Okay, and how did I find my IP address? I use these two commands, one of the two. Then you get your IP address, then you put it here. Because my IP address, as you can tell, doesn't fall into this range, right? It does not. It should have, if it fell into this, I mean, in other words, if it belonged to this network, then it should have started with 172.3.1. And this could have changed. Okay, but mine, it's not. It belongs to a different network. Okay, it belongs to a different network, and you have the 32, meaning that there is only one IP address in this network. In this one here, in this range, CIDR. But in this one here, you have more. Yeah, it's 2 to the power of 16. Okay, so you have that, and let's begin with this one here. So we're gonna do that and make sure that everything looks okay. Then press enter, and it looks like it's been created. I'm gonna get out of that, and then I'm gonna do the second one. Before I do that, so let me show you how I got my my IP address there. So you see, this is my IP address. Okay, so I've got it. You can use the other command too. It will give you the same results. Okay, it will be cleaner. The other one has that percentage sign character there, and you don't need that. So clear my screen. Then I'm gonna also allow my local system to SSH into the EC2 instance, and that's done. Now, to verify, you will use SSH to verify, right? That's kind of like the point here. But before we do that, let's also create a new rule for the HTTP, because we want people around the world to connect to our web application. I'm gonna clean it up just a little bit here. And I'll explain, here you see the CIDR. The CIDR, it's 0.0.0.0/0, meaning that anyone can have access to this application. Then I press enter. And that's, sometimes you get this error because of the syntax. And when you get this error, you're gonna need to make sure that the syntax is written correctly. So if there's a white space, an additional white space, then it may mess up the system, mess up the command. So I'm gonna fix it in a moment. Okay, I'm gonna give it a try now. Just I had to adjust it, and then I'm gonna fix it here. I'm gonna put it here. It's gonna look a little bit different than the first one, and I'll do East because that's my region. So I'll give it a try and see. This should work. So I'll just copy and then paste it without changing anything. It should work out okay. Should be 1 here. Press enter. But it looks like I'm getting the same error. Hold on, let me change it from my other text editor. So on my text editor, I'll just copy and without changing anything. Copy here and paste. Give it a try and see. Still getting the same error. I don't know why we're getting this. Just let me troubleshoot this. Okay, I think the error was the security group. So I suspect that could be why it wasn't working. So let me compare the security group here. When we created it, so we're using this one here. Then I go here and I'll replace it. So that's I think that could be it. So I'm gonna change it on the command line here, and that should resolve the situation here. I'm gonna do that. Yes, so that's resolved. So what we have done, I'm gonna get rid of that so we don't need it. We have created a key pair. We have created a security group. We have set rules to allow traffic via SSH and via HTTP. And now what's left is to create our EC2 instance. So to do that, we use the command that you see there. So I'm gonna copy the command. Then I'm gonna paste it here. Perfect. But now you have to make sure that you specify the value should be correct. Like the key value here, you can just change it to Nginx if you want. And then we have to select the correct subnet. I'm gonna take you to the console here. Go to the console, find your VPC that you're using or where you are deploying your resources, and this is the one that we're using, right? So if I click on VPC that I'm using here, I can see the different subnet that we have here, and I can pick any here. So I click here, I can just select. It's gonna give me the options to do so. I'll just go here, subnets, and then I know that this is what we need, 172.31. So all of these, they belong to the VPC where we are deploying our resources. So you can take any of these, but I'm gonna take the first one here. So I copy, then I go back to my code here. I'm gonna replace it here. Just delete that, then paste. Then next, I have to make sure that I have the correct security group ID, and we'll take the one that we created. This will be the one, and that's the one, yes. Come back here and then put it there. The key name is Nginx. but you have to verify. Make sure that you have the correct key. So that's Nginx. And then the instance type, T2 micro. How many do you want to spin up? Only one instance. And the image now, go back to your console, look for, you go to the EC2 dashboard, you're gonna see the catalog here to your left. So you click there, and what we want to use is it's an Ubuntu AMI, so we're gonna use this one here. Just copy, go back to your terminal. Then we're gonna replace that AMI with the desired or the correct one. And after you do that, just run the command. I'm gonna press enter. And here you can, if you keep pressing enter, you see more information about your EC2 instance. Now, let's verify. So we go back to our console, find the EC2 dashboard, click instances, and give it some time because it may take some time to run. And here you see we've just created an Nginx instance, and here it's running. So click on the ID. And right now we have nothing. If you click open address, nothing happens because we have not installed the web application. Now let's connect. Click connect, and we have already done the chmod command there. Chmod command. You come here. I'm gonna clear my screen, and if you ls, you have to make sure that you are in the location where your PAM key is. I'm gonna paste that. You go back to your console. You follow the steps there. The last command is this one here. So click it, click on it to copy it, and go back to your terminal, press enter, type in yes because you want to access this system, clear, and here you are. Here you are. If you go back to your console, you're gonna see your website, your system here, and this is the private IP address ending with 241. You come back here to your terminal, you see it ends with 241, and this is your network. So you're set, you're really set here. So what we need to do now, it's to install this Nginx, this web application. I will just copy all of this here, and then I'm gonna paste it here, and then press enter. Or you can just copy one line after the other. Press enter, and it's gonna update the libraries. It's gonna update the libraries and packages, as you can tell. And also after doing that, then it's gonna install this web application. It's gonna start the web app and enable it, meaning that even if you turn off your computer or the system and then back on, you don't need to restart your application. So that's done. And now if you go back here, here you refresh your window here, your browser. When you refresh it, sometimes it may do this because you see here, here it says HTTPS, but we didn't open an HTTPS port. We only opened HTTP. So watch what will happen now when I do HTTP. That's port 80. And this is our website. So this is how you do it. We did not go to the console to do anything, but from our local machine, using our command line, we were able to accomplish all of this. We created a key pair. We changed permissions of the key pair. We then created a security group, decided to allow SSH access on port number 22 for any system in this network or for only one system in this network. Then we allow also access, HTTP access using port 80. And finally, we created our EC2 instance and installed Nginx on it. That's what we've done. And if you were following along, then good job. You are officially a cloud engineer. So thank you. God bless. I'll see you in the next video.